Alright. So we are live tonight. Decided to do a bit of a change of pace, simply because as much as I like Jund, kind of annoyed with the modern format at the moment, with all of the top tier decks flying around, etc. This is a deck that I've worked on kind of behind the scenes every now and again. It's a deck I wanted to pick up again now that the beans are out of the meta. And that is Niv to Light. Now, Niv to Light is currently probably the most over-the-top mid-range deck in the Pioneer format, largely because of the presence of so many mid-range decks, like, is it Phoenix, Rakdos Midrange, Blue-White Control being a part of the meta, etc. It's a deck that's been severely missing from the modern format, probably since the Elementals were printed. Not that it was a big deck before then, but it combines a lot of the elements that make up good decks, but not necessarily itself being a good deck. It has Omnath as kind of its centerpiece. I probably should have a fourth Omnath in here. The last build I had a fourth Omnath, but then I made a slight adjustment to include a Drana in the list, and wanted to do that. And then I realized as I was getting ready to go live that would mean that Juggernaut is not a legal companion, so I moved the Boseiju from the sideboard to the main and moved the Drana Linbala to the side. Now this could easily be just regular Linbala, and then we could run, Juggernaut. We'll see how that plays out. Basically, mid-range control deck built around Bring to Light and Omnath. Though it is the namesake Niv Mizzet Reborn, Niv Mizzet actually isn't that good in the deck because of all the singular color cards you have. But you're running 6 Teferi deck, so you get to basically never miss a land drop. Have some built-in Cascade Insurance, especially if you're on the play. Have Utopia Sprawl to get a little bit ahead. Abundant Growth to kind of fix your mana. You're playing primarily a green-based deck with, I believe, only the basics and the Xander's Lounge, not tapping or potentially getting green. Lightning Helix is kind of a way to buy time against the aggressive decks, along with Leyline Binding. The last version I ran, Leyline Binding was not in the list because it was constantly getting blown up, but Leyline Binding is a little bit better positioned than it was, and there are some things that Prismatic Ending just can't answer right now that Binding kind of does, with the risk of obviously getting blown out in the post-war games by things like Force of Vigor. Rest of the deck, Kaya's Guile, expensive modal spell, but does a lot of things. It's an Edict effect, and it exiles graveyards and gains life, all of which is relevant in the current meta, with a Scion, guild pack nonsense going on. Edicts are at a pretty decent place. Now, land base, obviously, I've already kind of mentioned, is tilted towards being green to take advantage of Utopia Sprawl. So for a 5-color deck, you're about as insulated against Blood Moon as you can get. The sideboard, this is kind of where I always kind of like this deck. Obviously, you get to play Juggernaut game 1. Not necessarily the case in the post-war games, because there's a lot of things you're bringing in that kind of negate Juggernaut. Chalice of the Void, now... This is good, obviously, against Living End. It's good against Rhinos. But also in this deck, since you're playing so few 1-drops, you can also bring it in against decks like Burn, Murktide, anything that's playing a plethora of 1-drops, since you're really not going to punish yourself all that much. Force of Vigors and Brotherhood's Ends. This is kind of your anti-Urza Saga nonsense. Obviously, Force of Vigor also good against Amulet, which is a matchup that's probably not that great, but we do have a lot of interaction post-board. The 3rd and 4th copies of Kaya's Guile. This might be overkill right now, but it's, once again, Edict effect. Somewhat slow, exile your graveyard nonsense, but still very powerful card. Unmoored Ego, in conjunction with your Bring to Lights, gives you 5 copies of Take Your Opponent's Key Spell, whether it be Crashing Footfalls, Living End, Primeval Titan, Tron Piece, etc. Vindicate, slow sorcery catch-all, blows up everything, including lands, especially in conjunction with Utopia Sprawl. This can buy you enough time to get your unmoored egos. And the final piece, this one's just kind of throwing paint at the wall. I wanted something for Yawgmoth. Now, obviously could play Curse Totem, but you have no way to tutor for it in this deck. Whereas Drana Linvala shuts down a lot of the nonsense surrounding the deck. Basically shutting down everything except for, I do believe, Grist, because of the way Grist is done. But it might shut down creatures that are copies of Grisk or have Grisk's ability through Agatha's Soul Cauldron. So this shuts down Yawgmoth activation, shuts down Wall of Ruths, shuts down, you know, a lot of the nonsense they've got going on. It's a little slow, so we'll see how it goes. Like I said, this could easily just be regular Linvala, which you wouldn't be able to find with Niv Mizzet the Guild Pact, or Niv Mizzet Reborn, but you would be able to still play Juggernaut with it. So, finally, Elish Norn, keeping it in the deck. An expression where you're just kind of splattering stuff and seeing if it sticks. Elish Norn here, not as good as it was when Scam was kind of everywhere, but there's still enough ETB abilities that this is relevant. You know, shuts down Leyline Binding, shuts down Solitude, which can be very relevant in a lot of cases. Can shut down Griefs in the mid-game, shut down Endurance, Subtlety, and basically the whatchamacallit, also shuts down just random nonsense. And it's a 4/7, so if nothing else, it's somewhat of a beatdown plan. Plus, it doubles your Leyline Binding triggers, doubles your Niv Mizzet Reborn triggers, doubles your Omnath triggers. And then finally, Valky. Don't play a Bring to Light deck with Home without it. It's probably one of your primary win cons. So, that said, let's see how it does. When I played this before, which was a long, long time ago in a galaxy far, far away, I think it's been better part of a half year since I played this deck. Brown? Pretty sure it's supposed to be black, but I suppose it comes across as brown on the camera. Supposed to be black. Maybe the lighting is just poor. But yes, I purposely left this shirt on from church just to not have a red shirt on tonight. So that gag can hopefully die someday.
I think the red shirt brings you luck.
I don't know. We'll see. Alright. So... well, if we had more than one land, this hand would be a very easy keep, but I think it's just too risky. Alright, we'll keep this one, put back one of the BTLs. I might think we're on Zoo or Rhinos. Oh, Gargamel. We're always playing against Gargamel. Elish Norn, Mother of Machines. The question is, what do we bring to light for against Rhinos? Endless preventable mistakes. Alright, get that. Rebuy. Lorion revealed. Give our opponent to go ahead do Violent Outburst. I'm doing alright. Trying to get some was trying to get some extra backlog recording done because the next 3 weekends are going to be a little messy. My next weekend I have to travel to my parents to help them with some stuff, and dentist appointment that Monday morning. Following weekend's my dad's birthday, and then the following weekend after that, trip out to my brother's. So next weekend I might have to stream on Saturday night. We'll see, either Friday or Saturday night, just because of work situations. Not work situations. They're actually taking down Ren and Ticks. Okay. This one's just supposed to be a cleaning. Okay. Was not thinking As Foretold was going to be part of the equation. Gargamel's always playing interesting brews. They have more As Foretold. Alright. Well, blue, white, green. Do have a force of negation. $40. A little bit older than that. Okay. Problem is, I don't have any comeback mechanism against Rhinos in my main deck. Of course, then I don't think I have one in my sideboard either, but... Fuzz. we'll continue playing to get a better idea of what our opponent's deck is doing. But unfortunately, we don't have any outs right now. Does that potentially stabilize us? I mean, we'll try it. Obviously, if my opponent has another subtlety here, we're just kind of skewered, but... So, if this resolves, we Leyline Binding, kill 2 Rhinos. This... I mean, we're still dead to, like, a myriad of different things. But... maybe I was supposed to Helix at the end of turn here. Force of Negation. Okay. So basically, it looks like he's playing, or he or she is playing, effectively normal Rhinos, just with, for some reason, a As Foretold package. So, indicates, well, let's see, what all do we want out? Definitely want these Helices out. Kaya's Guile's kind of middling. Like, it's an Edict effect. We don't know if they have the Domain package, so it could be good in, like, that situation specifically. Elish Norn. They don't really have any ETB effects, so Norn's kind of eh. Question is, what else am I cutting here? Maybe one Boseiju. And maybe one run. Okay, yes. We're trying it. Not happy about it, but we're trying it. Mainly because we have the Chalice. It's not the best. I'm not going to deny that. Alright, so what do we name here? Blue, I guess. Okay. Why did I Chalice on one? What the heck? Meant to do Chalice on 0. No wonder why they didn't care about it. They brought in Mystical Dispute. Alrighty then. So we're going to get punished for our terrible play here. And they had... So their 5-color deck has Blood Moon in it. Great. Mm-hmm. Seems about right. Guess we should take a look at whatever their stupidity is. Not anymore, it doesn't. Alright. Yep. Kept a risky hand. So. And made play mistake after play mistake. Yeah, ironically, so with the structure of their mana game 1, I knew Blood Moon was still a possibility because they could easily have been on Domain Rhinos. But when we saw that Murktide, yeah, they're not on Domain Rhinos, obviously. This hand is fine. Let's see here. So if I fetch Forest, basic Forest, and this Abundant Growth doesn't resolve, then I'm in a lot of trouble. But I don't think anyone's going to hard counter or to force of negation this, so I'm just going to take the risk. I don't know if we'll get Price of Progress, but Burn or Creativity? I guess it could also be Zoo. Unlike, well, still possibly Zoo without Giganta, I suppose, but I have a feeling we're up against Burn. Which it's very unusual for Burn to not have a turn 1 play at all. Something's odd over there. So I have black, red, and we need white, I guess. So let's get Rogren. Something weird's going on over there. Burn should never pass with 2. So Creativity, some type of Crack the Earth, Destruction nonsense? Yeah, this definitely isn't burn. Wait, what? Okay, sure. Burn with a basic plains in it. I have no idea what's going on over there. Unless they're running Blood Moon, there's no reason for Burn to ever have basic plains in it. New pro plays? Something weird's going on here. I really don't know. Sure. Yeah? Gonna set up to fetch our basic plains here. This swamp did kind of mess with us a little bit in terms of what we're able to play. So. New pro plays takes notes. I presume there's a reason for the basic plains, but I just don't know. Mm-hmm. I'm going to have to heavily assume that they have Blood Moon in their sideboard configuration. Alright, I'm going to fetch basic plains just so I don't accidentally flip it. Let's red, white, deal with Goblin God. Okay, so white, red, green, blue, num 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 noth. Is this the concession life gain finally? Yeah. Alright, so I'm still blown away by the basic plains, so I have no idea what's going on there. Definitely want these. Might want some amount of Chalice. Elish Norn's not good in the matchup. Binding's fine. Teferi's okay. Eek. Even if it's budget burn, they still had Arid Mesa. That's what's throwing me off here. Like, I'm really expecting there to be a Blood Moon or something. I don't know. Like, one of Plains I can kind of understand, but two is just wowzers. Well, this is a hand if we can draw a third mana. We're definitely keeping this one. I think putting back Bring to Light. Keep. Yes, if we don't die by turn 3, I suppose. Alright. Lightning Helix would be pretty nice, too. Alright, well, that's not exactly what we're hoping for here. Basic Forest, Abundant Growth. Well, I mean, it's one way to fix our mana, I guess, but... yeah, it's... They haven't shown us anything that's, like, absurd. I wonder if we're going to get hit by, yeah, Smooth Criminal. Dun 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 dun. Light up the stage here. Or this might just be like a skewer on one land. Oh, wow. I think you called it, Foz. I think this is budget burn. Alright, so get the Rogrim. Yep, it's probably a budget burn deck. Yeah, it's probably the cheapest. It and Mono Red Prowess are probably the cheapest decks you can do and get into Modern. Okay, Bolt me, sure. Say, I kind of wish they had another land to at least make this a game, but black, like that, cast, sacrifices a creature, gain 4 life. Drew their second land, so... Yep, put us to 9. Okay. I think we're just going to pass here with the ability to 1, 2, 3, 4 to Leyline Binding or Kaya's Guile. more bindings than we need. Okay. And all right, so blue, white, green, red. All right. After punting away against Rhinos, we at least kind of saved a little bit of face against Burn. So, we'll be back to Jund on next stream. I definitely know that much. It's just a question of... I wanted to test this deck out a little bit, so... It's still an amazing deck. Well, to be fair, I don't think Burn in general is particularly well positioned right now. So... It's not just budget Burn, it's Boros Burn in general is not well positioned right now. Talk the Goblin. Good luck. Alright, so... Got access to all of our mana, so I do think we keep this hand. This is my fight song, proving me right song. It sounds like this is why I don't think this deck is terrible against Blood Moon. It's just the hand that I kept against Rhinos was terrible against Blood Moon, so... Well, technically Red has a free spell too. Well, pseudo-free spell, but it's terrible. What color am I naming? There's that 4 mana sacrifice a mountain, deal 5 damage to target creature or planeswalker spell. Well, at least they live up to your name. No, I forget the name of it. It's not a good spell by any means. War Marsh will go. If they have Goblin Grenade, we're in a little bit of trouble. Feels like a Goblin Grenade. Yep. Guess the only nice part about this is at least my opponent had to use one of their better spells against it. So I could bring to light for 4. Or I could do this. Still net us another mana. Black. And red. Obviously, if they have a whack, we're taking a good bit of damage, but I think it, like most tribal decks, just is not well positioned. I think the best positioned tribal deck right now is probably Merfolk, but that's simply because it's playing broken MH2 crap, whereas most decks can't. I was gonna say, am I about to get whacked? Alright, so I think we got a block. If they have Goblin Grenade as their last thing, more power to them. At least it's a sorcery, so we at least get the block to resolve. Alright, and Niv lives. So, how do we handle this? Run and ticks. Ping Mog Fanatic. Sacrifice Mog Fanatic. Target Run and ticks. At least they want to face. I mean, this is the one thing that this deck is bad at, though, is dealing with a horde of angry beavers. No, this deck is not good with dealing with a bunch of small creatures. Which, to be fair, the meta is not particularly made up of right now, but it is certainly a consideration. Alright, and my opponent has conceded the game. So, Brotherhood's End definitely comes in. So, it's been a minute since I've looked up an 8-whack list. I know they have a lot of whacks, but Goblin Bush Whacker. Alright. That's a lot of 1-drops. A couple chalices is probably fine. Does that have lifelink? No. Flying and vigilance. Ilish Norns, kind of whatever. Teferi is not the greatest in this matchup. Kaya's Guile's like kind of okay. Land binding is like no idea if they have Blood Moon, so I'm not even sure if I should be playing around that. Alright, so unkeepable hand. This hand is keepable. I think we put back Nib Mizzet and try to stay alive. Staying alive, staying alive. Staying alive. We're going to take a lot of damage before we start casting spells, but Goblin Peel Driver. Well, that one's scary. Should have fetched first. Protection from blue, ironically, might be kind of funny against like the Scion nonsense, but alright, so Xander's Lounge would get us Island, Swamp, Mountain. That'd be all the colors, right? So we're dead to a Blood Moon here. I think I'm okay with that outcome right at the moment. I don't think there's anything in particular that could punish us with this, but at the same time, I really don't want to. I feel the feeling we're about to get whacked. Yep, we're getting whacked. Alright, and trigger Abundant Growth on top. Not exactly what the doctor ordered, but I'm just gonna main phase this. Actually, opponent sacks creature, gain 4 life. Because the whatchamacallit ain't gonna do much for us. Token ain't gonna do much in the face of Legion Loyalist. So they keep the whacker. Fanatic, do you have a second whack? Oh, yep. Well, alright, so let's get a basic island. So 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We should just be dead this turn, but we're still going to be taking a pretty decent crunch here. Mm-hmm. Another Omnath on top. So do that. See what their last card is. So, okay, we took 3 there. So, play like you have 5 life. Problem is, we don't know. Like, we could ask them what their last card in hand is. Like, if it's a bolt or... If it's bolt or... Goblin Grenade, then we would be dead here. Are you certain on that math pause as far as I would have been at 5 before that turn? I'm going to. Three, 4, 5. 3/2 Goblin Guide, 3/2 attackers, plus Fanatic Ping. Alright. I did not have Omnath in play yet. So... Gain 4 life. We were at 13. Mm-hmm. I'm fine with this trade-off. Yeah, I know I had the game because of the screw-up. I just didn't want to... If I could for sure know the math that I would have lost, I would have given them the game. But that's just... I didn't do... Because according to your math, Foz, I wouldn't have been dead. I would have been at 1 with the ping. But they're saying they would have had lethal. So... That's why it's just like... Okay. Not sure why they didn't take that opportunity to blow up one of our lands, but okay. Yeah, I know. I just... Like, in real life, I know I would have possibly lost that if they didn't miss that attack. So that's why I was just like, I don't want to, like... Like, in higher stakes events, I completely understand. Like, just being... If they screwed up, they screwed up and move on. But with, like, a lesson like this, it's just like... I wanted to be sure on the math before, like, conceding that game. So... Unfortunately, I wish I could say I learned some lessons tonight, but all I've learned is that I can beat up on 2 budget mono red decks, or 2 budget red decks, and punt against Rhinos. So. To be fair, I am in the learning queue. I am in the friendly leagues, so... And I'm not exactly playing a tier deck myself. Yes, it does have powerful cards. I'm not going to deny I'm not playing Broken Modern Horizons bullcrap, but... But at the same time, it is nice, despite not having a sweeper in my main deck, that I can still hang with what are still turn 4 kill aggro decks. So, at least I'm learning that much about the deck. Not that there are that many aggressive decks in the format right now, but... and I may have to reassess a sweeper of choice. Like, Brotherhood's End is fine, don't get me wrong, but I do wonder if Storm's Wrath might not be a consideration now. What does this hand do? This hand has Leyline Binding on too, so yeah, probably fine enough on the play. Okay, you can stop playing poker with these leyline bindings. Seriously. You need water?
No?
Meticulous Archive. I have no idea what we're up against. Mill, maybe? Oh, we're up against Reanimator. Okay. I think I may have played against them the other day. So I need plains, island, have all colors. We're in their deck playing Force of Negation. Okay. Not just any deck. They're playing a Goryo's Vengeance variant. Ephemerate on Falala here. Yep, Ephemerate. No, Preordain. Okay. We knew they had the Preordain in hand, so wouldn't mind finding one of the remain deck copies of Kai's Guile. I think I'm just going to pass holding up mana here. Like I could put, I suppose we could theoretically put Giganta in hand, but I just want to hold up double A-line binding. Give you their lunch money. Gee, boss, thanks. Sure. Gonna get Sanders Lounge here. I suspect this Omnath's just gonna die, but I suppose you have the Ephemerate to go with it. Nope. Okay. Well, that would have been nice to have access to. Wouldn't be surprised if they're going to Goryo us here. They do not. Okay. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Good chance they have an Ephemerate here, but we still have to try to go for the binding. Or they have, like, 8 draws to find the Ephemerate or Force of Negation. Mm-hmm. Come on, give me a land. Untap land, preferably. Black, green, blue, red, white. Huh. That's an interesting choice. I think we go with Elishnorn, though. Opponent's going to have to draw here. They can Ephemerate if they so choose, but Phalagi does nothing. Solitude does nothing. Grief, if it's even in their deck, does nothing. I don't even know. They might have Teferis in their deck as an out. So. Okay, preordained, sure. Mm-hmm. I mean, Atraxa is a... I'm gonna say Atraxa is basically a 6-point fireball at this point. So... Okay, so... red... white... green... blue on math. White. Just gonna go ahead and pass here. See, I presume they're gonna block here. Should have put Jiggy in my hand with that extra mana. Mm-hmm. Sure, I'll take my hit and like it. Another ephemerate. Mm-hmm. Alright. Come on, give me something to work with, deck. Gonna presume they target it but don't actually cast it. I think we have to risk suiciding these. Not thrilled about getting... I should have gained life first, but... Mm-hmm. Getting to see why they were so heck bent on keeping Teferi off the table. Is it possible they don't have another Goryo's over there? Do you believe we have one more fetchable left in the deck? Sure. Don't really care about the Solitude though, because the Solitude itself is blockable. Before they go to combat, I'm going to crack this fetch to make sure. This is obviously putting me lethal to Atraxa, and I have no lands to get. Okay. So they have yet another Force of Negation. I just put myself dead for no reason. Well, I was dead either way, I guess. Look, guess they're looking for either Ephemerate or Force of Negation here. Yeah, they tapped incorrectly here. They should have left a white source open. But now we still have to top deck to survive for another turn. Pretty sure we are dead here though. Why did they fetch? They know they have no fetchables left from earlier. So basically we've gotten to see a deck tech of their deck pretty much. Not really, unfortunately, but basically this is the deck before I get rolling. I don't have the deck command set up, unfortunately. But basically, 3 Bring to Light, 3 Omnath, and then a Utopia Sprawl Abundant Growth setup. So I definitely want Kaya's Guiles. We definitely want Vindicates. Lightning Helixes can definitely go out. Unmilordio is tempting, but I guess it comes down to he's out. probably want some number of chalices for Ephemerate and Preordain. Besiege, you might be able to go out here. They could have... I guess Leyline Binding somewhat unlikely. So... Is Unmoored Ego what we want to be doing? Like, we're kind of infinitely vulnerable to turn 1 Grief Ephemerate. But unfortunately, that's just the nature of a slow and OP deck like this. It would be one reason to leave in Lightning Helix, but... Alright. Basic Island, double green spell, yeah, just no. Okay, this hand is at least playable. I think we bury one of the Teferi, not one of the Teferis, one of the Wrens here. I was gonna say, if they have keep Groyos, and we just kind of get blown out. So I think what we're gonna have to do is play Prismatic, fetch Plains, and upkeep Kaya's Guile. That way they can't force of negation us. And we get rid of this Atraxa. There's nothing they can do in one turn cycle to put this in the graveyard. And Groyos us. Because most of their discard effects are 2 mana. And this keeps them from having Force of Negation up to deal with this. Gee. Okay. I presume that means they want to represent Ephemerate. to get Island there, but not really relevant this turn cycle. This is kind of annoying. I think they forgot that Ephemerate has to target something in play. When they pitch to that? Faithful Mending, sure. So even if they Teferi here, we should be able to ping the Teferi down. If they get rid of this Spirit token. So they could just plus here and ignore the token. Nope, they do not. Mm-hmm. Pretty sure this means we lose. That's just Entwine cost. Okay, cast. Japan sacrifices a creature. Because I'm presuming they have Goryo's with this move. Which is kind of annoying. It was a Stone Cold Bluff. I was expecting that to go very poorly. My question is, what am I supposed to adjust now? Higher on those. It's fine. 4-1 black shirt, you got this. Going down on binding a little bit because of Teferi. Yeah, we'll try this one. Hopefully, I was gonna say, hopefully they don't immediately put a fatty in the graveyard. Alright, so this and this would cover all my colors. So what do I name with this? It's going to hold up Kaya's Guile here, and then next turn we're going to try a Slam Chalice on too. It pitches a bunch of nonsense, so that's nice. Presume they take the Chalice here. Take Leyline Binding. Question is, do I chalice on 1 or do I chalice on 2? The answer is, it doesn't matter. My opponent has a force. Depends on what this fa-la-la-la-la-la-la-la-la-la finds. Looks like they get a force of negation. I think we just pass here. So they have 10 Indulgence and Force of Negation in hand. Presume they get Preordain here. Well, shoot. So we know they have Grief. Mm-hmm. Pretty sure we won that. Yeah, I know they have force. I'm pretty sure we won that because of time. I honestly think if this game would have continued, they might have very well won here. So. But I will be right back. After these messages, we will be right back. Start the queue again. I made some asparagus, corn, baked potato for supper. So, the problem is I haven't played this deck in like 7 or 8 months. So, it's kind of hard to say. Theoretically, it has tools against everything. But in the end, it's a slow and clunky mid-range deck. So, sure you have 4 Chalices and 4 Teferi's against Rhinos, etc. But in the end, it's... And then you have hands like this. Alright, this hand is at least keepable. Put back Kaya's Guile for now. I honestly don't know. This is the first time I've pulled the deck out in probably 8 months. So far, the only tier deck we've played against is Rhinos, and I punted badly game 2 and lost. So, we've beaten Budget Burn, 8 Whack Goblins, and Ground Reanimator. So, wait to see what we need to fetch. Topia Sprawl, okay. I have a feeling we're not in Kansas anymore. Looks like If I had to guess, this is probably Boros Convoke, but I honestly... Should I be fetching blood around Blood Moon? Or it could be Hammer with 3-man Inspector for some reason. Need to get a Forest. I'll get Ndatha. Play Utopia Sprawl red. Yeah, this is a friendly league, so it's really kind of hard to get a good gauge on how good this deck is. I'd like to do more testing with it, but time is time, unfortunately. Looks like Hammer, possibly. Hammer confirmed. Why would Hammer be playing 3-man Inspector, though? Ndatha is 3, Island is 4. There's no way I can both deal with... I don't think the way our mana base is set up, we can deal with both... Because we were basically... With the exception of the Xander's Lounge, we're basically forest locked for duels. So we can't both deal with this and the Urza Saga this turn. So I think it's just binding the Stoneforge, play Abundant Growth. In that case, I think we just fetch the Xanders. That be all the colors. Currently missing Island, Mountain. So get the Xanders. Leyline binding the Stoneforge Mystic. And then... Would be funny if we played Budget Hammer, but I don't know if there's anything about Urza Saga that says budget. So. Alright, so that's Island to Ferry. They will unfortunately get to make a token out of this. Okay, so they're definitely not budget. They are... board were a little more clear, we could bring to light for something decent here. I think it might just be Elish Norn, then hope we draw like Omnath into fetch land, and then we can bring to light for Niv. Or, okay, we just get tempoed to heck by Reprieve out of a hammer deck. Okay. Does that change the equation? I think, especially since they showed us Solitude here, that we do have to go with Elish Norn again. Once again, if they have another Reprieve, we just kind of get... I don't even know what to say to that. The annoying part is they could easily have another Reprieve here. I don't think there's anything that gets us out of this situation. That's so what would be our best line here? Teferi, bounce. Oh, they have Shadow Spear, so we're kind of dead regardless of what I do here. So, but let's at least force them to expend some mental energy, shall we? Okay, maybe we have a prayer after all? How do we do this then? Shotgun, go to 1. Sack a creature, gain 4 life. Leyline binding whenever they Shadow Spear? Okay, I thought we were 100% dead here, but looks like we might have a chance. At least. Depending on what else is in their hand, obviously. They have a Ephemerate in their deck. Okay. Face, face, face. Oh, I just talked through the line and then punted. Good job. So I needed to shock this in. Oh, jeez. I guess we go to 1. Fetch. No, we're dead because they sack a creature. No. Gain 4 life. Gain 4 life. Do this. Jump here, take 3. One, two, 3, 4, 5, 6. Obviously, if they have a Solitude, this gets a little ugly, but... Sure? I don't even know what to say to that. Like, I punted 1,000 different ways and had no business winning that game. Alright. Force of Vigor's in. Vindicate's in. Brotherhood's in. So if we were on the play, I'd be more inclined for Chalice. I think on the draw it's like 2 running 6 out, 2 Kaya's Guiles out, and I don't even know if Helix is all that good. Like, obviously we need some amount of early interaction to, like, not get run over randomly, but... Let's see, the black shirt. But, like, what was going on in our opponent's hand? We'll try it. White. They really gonna reprieve this? Line binding being a little bit awkward here. Come on, give me something, deck. Land, preferably. Okay, so that costs 4 currently. So do this. It's gonna helix the token they make here at end step. It's not like the best, sexiest play, but it does keep them from having something to equip to hammer. I don't know that any play that we had available to us was sexy, but at least it doesn't feel like the cleanest thing. It's also possible that they're not even hammer. Like, yes, they have Urza Saga and such, but they could very well just be blue black or blue white midrange. I don't think I cast Bring to Light into this much open mana. I think instead I'm just going to jam Renantex. I don't care if this gets countered or bounced or whatever. Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on over there. Like, we haven't seen a... have not seen a Urza or a Colossal Hammer to know for sure what the heck they're on. Like, I could have jammed this Bring to Light, but it's really the last piece of business we currently have. So I'd rather them tap low for something. They're going to get Caldera again. Yes, they are. I think we gotta try it, right? Mm-hmm. Trying to think. Alright. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Alright. Blue. Red. Jam Niv. This is so stupid. Opponent with triple reprieve, 1 Doan's Vita so far. Left a card on top of their library. That's terrifying. What do they need a land for? Sure. But do they have Cryptic Command in their deck too? Alright, that lets us double spell. So I think we start with Niv like we did last turn. Blue, red, jam Niv. Okay, that just flat out resolves. Okay, Stoneforge. What else do you have? Analyst? Cryptic Coat. Okay. Now I know what on earth we're dealing with. Sure. You know that Supreme Verdict just lost you the game, right? Okay. Black, white, blue. So they have Cryptic Coat, and Lord only knows what else in hand right now. Solitude, sure. Get to hit Tumult for 1. Would really like to draw Teferi to just clinch this game straight up. Alright. Let's see. We got an Omnath. Got a Verdict. Okay. Elish Norn, cast Elish Norn. Is that a concession? That would be a concession. No, unfortunately, Bring to Light cannot grab Teferi. Because Bring to Light, search the library for a creature, instant, or sorcery. So, 4-1 overall. Kind of hard to, unfortunately, read much into that when you... Well, yeah, we got the 4-1 black shirt. You're right there, Foz. But it's really kind of hard to like get a read on this deck when you're not playing against any tier decks, really, other than Rhinos, and that was a weird version of Rhinos, and we kind of got smacked by it a little bit, so, yeah. 4-1 with Niv. Yeah, we'll definitely be back on Jun next week, but this Niv deck it's had a really weird run. Like, I think pretty much every time I've played it, it's been almost always a 3-2 or a 4-1. I think I have like 1 or 2 2-3s in there when I was tinkering with the different various versions of it. The other thing to consider, obviously, is maybe start messing with some of the Surveil lands a little bit, but it felt like we had tools against every deck, so really kind of hard to get angry with how the deck performed overall. You know, felt like we had tools for the aggro decks to bring in. It felt like we had tools for the mid-range artifact deck. Felt like we had tools for Reanimator. May not be the best or the least hair-raising matchup in the world, but, you know, we have Leyline Bindings, we have Kaya's Guiles, we have the Chalices, so... This deck always feels like it's riding the edge of, like, every matchup it's in. It's just kind of... I don't even know how to describe it. It's just... It lives life on the edge, and I don't know if it's just our luck that it continues to do decently, or if the deck actually might have legs, and it's something I should be working on more. It's kind of one of those weird situations. So, but anyways, hey Foz, everybody else, thank you for hanging out tonight. We normally stream every Sunday night. I know next weekend I have to stream probably Friday or Saturday night, one of the two. I'll let you know over on the MTG Nexus channel on YouTube, because we have to travel on Sunday. But yeah, don't forget to check out the YouTube channel if you like modern content, and hope to see you for next week's stream and videos. See ya.